Episode 349. This is a solo rant. My guest bailed. Nick Phelps, asshole. So I never have a solo rant plans, but right now I don't even have anything to talk about. But as anyone that listens to this podcast knows, I've been given the opportunity to turn this thing into an actual thing with revenue and an income. I've been given that opportunity by, I think the correct term is angel investor. Just living expenses for 3 years, and then I can try to get this off the ground. And because that's the case, I can't sit around with my dick in my hands, literally and figuratively, just because I'm not feeling it. Guest bailed, didn't get enough sleep last night, don't have anything to talk about. I mean, but I just have to, and maybe that's a setback. Maybe I shouldn't put out content for the sake of putting out content. Maybe I should be, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I should be waiting. But to me, it's more of like I can't waste this. It's like I have the opportunity to do this. Like, I cannot waste this. And so I'm going to keep putting out episodes. But I don't have anything to talk about. I mean, I've posted it a couple times. Or not posted. Actually, I haven't posted it once. What the fuck am I talking about? But I talk about it all the time, how I manually keep statistics and parameters of this podcast. YouTube subscribers, total views, total videos uploaded, watch time, so it's the minutes that people watch. Right now it's at like 1.4 million minutes watched. Impressions, which I believe is every time like a link or something goes across someone's phone. It's at like 750,000, so that's cool. BitChute subscribers, BitChute views, Rumble subscribers, Spotify plays. No one's bought anything from the merch store yet, but I do track the visitors there. Where you can get stuff like this hoodie, like Run DMC, but it's a BRRRT A10 Warthog, dope hoodie. I no bullshit, promise you it will be the best hoodie you've ever worn. It's the coziest thing out there. I keep track of all those parameters manually, and since election day, my podcast has gone horizontal. I mean, like, it's not even like I'm reading too much into it. Like, that's from December 12th to present day. You can see it started doing the hockey stick, started doing that coveted exponential explosion, and then you can see on election day how it goes horizontal. There's a spike, and that is because I did a live stream with Don the Pleb. I'd done a couple, but that was, I think, the last one I did with him, with Dale and Ted Eye. And because Don's got like 10,000 subscribers, they all, not all, but some funnel in, and YouTube can't really hide that. But as soon as that spike, that was a 1 day spike, and then it goes right back to horizontal. And that's even at the beginning of this podcast, when it was shitty, you'd still get like one a day. You get at least 7 a week. Maybe they'd come and go, and as it went on, they started to come in more of like clusters. But it might be no new subscribers for 10 days, but then you'd get a cluster of 70. It's gone horizontal. There's not been a new subscriber in the year 2021. And perhaps I'm just putting out shit content now. I mean, that's something you have to entertain. You can't put your head in the sand and go, it's the algorithm. You do have to entertain that. Like, you might just be a piece of shit that has nothing good to say, and there's no reason why anyone wants to listen to you. And that's something I do have to entertain. Like, do I just suck? Do I just absolutely fucking suck? And that is a possibility. I don't think that's being negative or pessimistic. It's just realistic. Is the reason why no girls date you is because they're all whores? Or is it because you've put on a couple pounds? Is it because your breath is bad? Maybe you need to work on your manners. Maybe you need to get a better job and improve yourself. Those red pills that we often don't want to take, but it's not until afterwards that we realize they were so beneficial. So because I can't affect YouTube metrics, and they censored the president. That's like going into jail on the first day and punching the biggest guy in the face. They censored a sitting president. Rogan left for that sweet, sweet money, but he also said that he was just they're putting too much pressure on him. You see it more and more. Started with Alex Jones, then Milo, went to a couple more. Trump was the big one, but now they just left and right. They just purge. And if they don't purge, they allow you to stay on, but they make it look terrible, that you don't get any views, right? Because, I'll admit it. I see a song by an artist that I don't give a shit about, but if it says 557 million views, I'm going to click on it. The number of views definitely got me to click on it. I would say that my perception of that song is also skewed by the number of views. I might be more inclined to give it a chance and go, yeah, maybe it's good, it's catchy. When in reality, that video might actually only have 1,000 views. But let's just for shits and giggles, let's play that game. And that they just, there's big money in being able to put 557 million views, 1.2 B views in front of a video, right? You can almost kind of see YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't know how to use TikTok. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not even going to try to describe that. But we could say YouTube, Insta, Facebook, and Twitter. Right? Let's just say those four, right? YouTube, Insta, Facebook, Twitter. In a sense, those have become kind of like the Federal Reserve, in that it's like the App Store, right? You can make your app. One app might be better. You might have, let's just say, a Blockbuster app, and that app gets replaced by a Netflix app. You might have your taxi app that gets replaced by your Uber app. But what's the real big dick swinging? It's being Apple and owning the App Store. Let them all fight amongst themselves, but you own the medium, right? The other competitors would be like an Android. It's... Yeah, right. It'd be like, which website's the best, but you're always using Safari or Chrome or Brave or Mozilla or whatever. One of the Rothschilds, right? It's like old, it's like normie conspiracy now, but I care not who writes the laws of a nation. Give me control of the money supply and I will control the people. So in the sense that it's like you really don't care who's president or what laws are passed. If you're the one printing the bills, you control it. We're kind of seeing that now with big tech, right? It doesn't matter who's on there. You print the likes, right? And I don't know enough about monetary policy or understand currency, but I would say that they don't even have to risk inflation, because it's not like those likes are taken back and then dumped somewhere else. You really can just change the letters or the characters on a video. Change it from 74,000 views to 110 million. And then you instantly go from a niche song to an Eminem song. You can change those, and that's insane power. I am still, to my core, I believe that they're private companies and they can do whatever they want. I hate what they do. I think the free market will do, but I'm not going to go into that. I've done a million episodes on that. So yeah, that is odd. But at the same time, I'm not gonna, I don't think it's being pessimistic or negative. I think it's being real. I'm not going to change that, and I'm not going to be able to fight that single-handedly. So do we just sit here and bitch every episode that I'm not getting my deserved subscribers? Or do I just keep putting out content? Fuck you, work harder. Just fuck you, work harder. Roger Goodell suspends Brady for 4 games. Okay, come back and win a Super Bowl. Fuck you. I'll never forget when I met my buddy Ivan G, who was Mr. Bulgaria, lives in Las Vegas now. He looks like the next Schwarzenegger. 6'4". His name is actually Ivan. I mean, you could sharpen a diamond blade on his jawbone. Fucking awesome guy. And I remember when I met him here at the bar Secrets, SEACRETS, in Ocean City, Maryland. It was summer 2011 when I met him. And I remember we were talking about this before I got all fat. We were talking about weightlifting, and I remember he said his back hurt, and I was like, well, you need to take some time off. And he went, no, work harder, only back workouts. And I was like, what? He said, just keep working out until you have so much muscle there that it can't get hurt. And I don't know how that holds up physiologically, but it was that mindset that I was like, that's just do more, right? It's like I just ground my teeth together and it just gave me goosebumps. Right? It's like I mean, it's the Russian trope stereotype in every movie, right? It's just bigger, better, right? It's stronger, bigger rocket, Pacific Rim. It's just a bigger, stronger, pure iron machine. But I think there is some. I just did it again. I think there is some. Maybe what I need to do is just start dieting again. Hopefully I'm moving out of here soon and I can kind of control my food supply and I can get back into that college shredded 10 abs look. Maybe what I need to do is just get in the best shape of my life and just start doing podcasts shirtless. Just attract women and gay guys. And maybe I just sell out. Maybe I just need to start making the most clickbait thumbnails. What are those thumbnails? Back to Ivan. There is some beauty in that logic. Just add more. Right? Your profit margin on your shitty fucking Walmart knickknack is 1/100 of a penny. Okay. Put it at every checkout aisle in every Walmart. Just scale that volume to 100 million units. So my logic is just get bigger guests. Put out more podcasts. Post it in more places. Don't just post it on Facebook. Post it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Was it Clout Hub? I don't even know how to use that one. I was on Parler until that got fucking banned, which is why I do not shop at Amazon anymore. God, I just sound like such a fucking boomer, but yeah, my logic is just get it bigger. Just do more. Just add more. Get more guys that walked on the moon. Get more generals. Get fighter pilots. Get fucking big names. Get it to the point where it's just put the ball in their court. Get Donald Trump on here and let it show that there's only 70 views. I think that's the move. Because I think all else is cowardice. And it's very dramatic, right? This is my D-Day, is doing a podcast against big tech. But I mean, that's how I feel. It's just keep doing it. Just turn it up to 11. If they want to go to war, go to nuclear war. If they want to, invade West Berlin, start dropping nukes on Moscow. Or as one of the spec ops guys I've had on here said, when you're in Afghanistan and you're holding a couple people prisoner, if they disrespect you, break their jaw. If they push you, cut their head off. He was like, you just take it up to 100% immediately. Maybe that's just what I have to do, is just this video is going to get fucking removed for inciting violence. that's just what I'm gonna do, is just keep going. Fuck you, do more episodes. Just push, get bigger and bigger names. And then hopefully I get that golden parachute. Hopefully I get a Spotify deal or some shit. Peace. But yeah, maybe I just need to go full brain dead idiocracy clickbait. Thumbnails, right? The thumbnails will have to be mouth open, right? Mouth open, but you don't do it with an angry face. You do anything but an angry face. It can be neutral, sad, surprised, because the I guess the scientific studies have shown that that's such a bullshit term, a scientific study. It's shown that a human with their mouth open on a thumbnail catches your brain's attention a lot more, but you don't want it to look threatening. You want it to look like they are being threatened, because if it looks threatening, part of your brain will say, scroll by that. You don't want to be near that thing. But if it's the mouth is open but they look surprised, which is why you see it like Mr. Beast or Gus Johnson or Linus Tech Tips, if you notice that all of those, that's why I can't do it, is because it's just no part of it's original. It just makes me want to fucking go full Cobain and deep throat a shotgun. Because when you look at all those thumbnails, open mouth, you got to have an arrow, right? Red arrow pointing at something. The border will have to be a color, and mind you, the border, what they do is they put a border around the edge of the thumbnail so it sticks out more, so it doesn't just flow by like another thumbnail. I mean, there is a brilliance in like pattern recognition, but what do? You can go to any of them. Go to a Corridor Crew, go to Mr. Beast, go to PewDiePie, and maybe I shouldn't be talking shit because these are all multi-million subscriber channels. Fuck if I know, but I'd rather be original. I'd rather not be just a fucking loser. Even then, I just self-censored myself. I would rather not be a retarded faggot. And so what they do is they put these borders on them. You'll notice the color will not be red, it will not be white, and will not be black, because those are the primary red, white, black. Because those are the primary colors of YouTube: red and white, and then if you're using night mode, black. So what do? You're supposed to use a color that is not primarily used in the app. So what is that? Light blue, kind of like a lime green, and you got to go really bright yellow. You can't have it look white. Yeah, so those kind of, and you can go pink, but pink kind of blends in with the red. You want to go with colors that they do not use, like right, stoplight, red light, yellow light, green light. If you really want to stick out, you have like a fluorescent blue, right? I mean, think police sirens, right? You can't mistake it for, I thought that was a light in my rear view. No. Maybe that's why fire engines and EMTs are more red, though. Maybe it gets you to stop and pull over, right? Because it subconsciously says that's a red light. But then why did the cops do blue? Maybe that's just to get your attention, period. Who knows? Fuck if I know. I'm not going to dive into the neuroscience of emergency lights. I don't know shit. I don't know anything I'm talking about, by the way. I'm not backing up anything I'm saying with cited sources, and nor will I ever. We don't verify here. We just wheel and deal. We're fast and loose with the facts. So I don't give a shit. Hillary Clinton raped me. I mean, and until you can prove otherwise, you're a bigot. Right? But that's what those fucking thumbnails do. Open mouth. As someone that does graphic design, all those images are enhanced. They up the vibrance a little bit. They use a very light sort of clarity, or you might call it sharpening, dehazing. They up the brilliance just a little bit, high highlights, a little bit of upped contrast. So everything's just, actually, the way, it's like when you go into your iPhone and you have a new photo and then you click like the wand edit. It's like if they click the wand, but you could just kind of consecutively click it several times. You can't, because even if you wand click an image, screenshot it, and then wand click it again, Apple then says it's like, no, your image was perfect. It'd be like if you just kind of wand clicked it, like if you just scaled it up, right? And this is all from memory. So what else is this? A lot of teeth showing. You want the red of the gums. You want the red of the tongue showing. You want some gums. You don't want to get too porny, but you can do a little bit of maybe the uvula. Eyes, bright eyes showing. Skin, you want it to be up close. Doesn't even have to be smooth like Instagram. You want to just go sharp resolution. The hair, you're going to want to see sharp defines hair. What do you do around it? And I know you know what I'm talking about. What's around the person? It's the white outline. It's not black. It's not any other color. Some will do it. They'll do it if it's the same color of the border. But what do? You do thick white outline. And it's not a perfect, like, every hair. It's just kind of general, almost kind of like a comic book kind of graphic novel-ish look. So you have that, right? Open mouth, wide eyes. Eyes are either looking directly at you, or you're looking off. You're looking off to the right or left, or up. Really, it's up, down, left. It's directly at you, or it's way off in any of the planes. Surrounded by that white border. Actual thumbnail will have a different color border. You might go with a purple. Now, what is in the background? What you'll notice is the background is a couple things. It's not one solid color. They used to be that, but these motherfuckers have evolved. That's what they are. They are viruses. They are viruses that need to be killed with the flaming, scalding hatred of a CDC oven. Around them is not a solid color. You're going to choose one of the colors that's not primarily on YouTube. You're going to go with a baby blue, maybe a dark purple, a lime green, a highlighter, or if you're going to go pink because it's so close to red, you got to go like Barbie, like candy lipstick, like fucking dialed up to 11 pink. You're going to have your border. Your background will be one of those select colors that is not a YouTube primary color, but it won't be the same as your border. All right, you got to stick out from that. What will it be? It will not be one solid color. It will either be a gradient from like white, or you really want to just be a piece of shit. What you do is you go from, again, one of those select colors. So your border might be lime green, and then in the background you're going to do a gradient from a purple to a baby blue. Furthermore, it's not just a gradient. The gradient is it's like those old memes, right? Like the penguin, or where it's just kind of like it almost looks like a pie chart around it, and it's just alternating colors. What it will be is that it'll be that sort of pie chart slice. Those will often be like a white. You'll be intermittent with white. So you'll have gradient left to right, one of those shitty obnoxious colors. It will be that sort of pie chart thing, and it will be unfocused, right? Just like the iPhone kind of portrait mode, it'll be unfocused. You'll have and then at the edge, either from where it's emanating, which is often like behind the subject, or where it terminates, which will be kind of, at the borders, you will have it turn into kind of a bright, like when you're looking at like the rays from sunshine in a video, as you get closer, just everything kind of merges into just a blistering, piercing white light. That's what you often have. Now, whether or not you show that piercing white light, I don't know, but it's the termination point or the emanation point. You can tell that's what it is, and part of it might be cropped out. Strong, obnoxious border, face, open mouth, really show the red, the tongue, the gums, a little bit of the uvula, right? It looks way too much like Pornhub. White outline, arrow, perhaps bubble letters, I can't believe. You don't put every word in the title caps. You don't do that. Hold on, let's stay with the thumbnail first. Close up of the face, right? Mouth open, eyes wide. You want the whites of the eyes. You want to be able to see the full, right now, if you look, you want to be able to see the full, at least part of the circle of your iris, right? So whether it's top or, actually, I don't know if you can do bottom. Yeah, you could. You want at least one part. See how normally it's kind of like covered? You can only see like the side round parts. You want wise, yet see where you can see the full circle. Furthermore, you want this. For everybody listening, I just got really close to the camera. What you want is the face close. You do not want the full face in the image. You want it to be, that's what you want. You want part of it, if not on two borders, either left, right, or top, bottom. You want it edited out, or not edited out, you want it cropped out, right? Is that the right one? You want it too big to fill. That's what she said. But you want it too big to fill. There's something about the eye that it's, it's up close, which, I mean, go look at like a lot. I like Linus Tech Tips though. He seems like a good guy, and not that I'm the arbiter of who's good and who's actually, fuck it, yes I am. Linus Tech Tips can live. The rest get on the trains, right? But you know, so it'll be up close like this, and you'll do open mouth like that. So open mouth, white background, whites of the eyes, really red gums and uvula. Part of it edited out on the top and the bottom. You want that white outline. You want that fluorescent border. You want the gradient of two of those obnoxious colors in the background, pie charted with a white, and then the point of emanation or termination, you want it to be that blistering white. You want a red arrow. Within it, you're gonna want some bubble letters. A little, and another good one is a really close up, mouth open, looking to the left at the thing. What is the thing? Laptop, right? Or what you want is you want the sort of, you can see a lot of fucking, like, I mean, they're like the very clickbait sort of porny images right on YouTube, where it's just like super busty girl, like. But what you want is you want the girl, again, mouth open. But if you'll notice, when the girl's mouth's open, what do you not see? I mean, it's sex hidden in plain sight. What do you see? There are no teeth. I mean, is that not a fucking oral sex? No teeth. Girls, no teeth. Mouths are always, they're not open like a guy. The girls are always, it's a mouth, right? They're about to suck your dick. That's what they have. A little bit of cleavage showing. They're often, what are they doing? Their arms are together, right? The innocence, and they're looking up at you. Porn. They're looking up at you, or they're looking to the side. You know, again, that obnoxious, oh my god, it's so big. That's what it is. You want the guy, right? You maybe want an explosion. If it's a video game and you're showing a car, let's say Grand Theft Auto, which probably have the worst thumbnails, right? What you want is, if you're ever showing like a car or a plane or something, you don't just have it has to be one solid color with no variation, no gradient, no lights or darks. You want one, it's fluorescent lime green, it's an ultra blue, or it's a fucking candy purple. You're going with one of those three. You're going to want exaggerated thumbnails if it's a Grand Theft Auto, right? Or if it's a skyscraper, you're gonna, you know, it's one and it's just at the base, it goes out of the screen and you see clouds around it, right? If it's a jet, you put on 30 jet engines on each thing, right? You really want to go lowbrow, mouth beating retard that they don't do anything other than consume oxygen and eat away our food supply and it be a burden on our healthcare system. You really want to target those lower ground, dirt worm eating fucking losers, the real retards, the ones that underdress for Walmart. What you do is you put an emoji, right? Emoji, maybe laughing face emoji, or you do it's that one where it's like, right? It almost looks like it, not the emoji that looks like it's like nutting, where it's like, but you want the one that almost looks like a retard nutting. It's just like, you want that one. Maybe you want a couple of those, right? And then even those, you can put the white outline around. I mean, you can get real fucking bottom of the barrel, like night shift McDonald's type thing. I'm saying that as my light switches on and off. That's what you want. Title. What do you want in the title? You do not go all caps, right? We learned that with like Halo Online. You don't want to, right? Because people start to filter it out, right? You know, what do people say? Stop yelling. There's no yelling. So what do you want? 2 to 3 words, lowercase. I wouldn't even say words. I would say you maybe want like 8 characters. So whatever that is, a couple of short words with some spaces, one long, whatever. What you want is it's really what it is. It's a percentage of the first text. Normal lowercase. Why is this fucking light? Stop being a piece of shit. God damn it. Fucking. Yeah. You don't want, you want the first letter to be, actually, you don't want to go all lowercase, right? Because that's almost a different type of video in itself. Right? Those tend to be those really funny videos. Over 1 million views, under a minute, preferably under 30 seconds. over 1 million views. Title is all lowercase, no punctuation. That's a good video. And thumbnail isn't even special. Thumbnail's not special. It's like an auto-generated thumbnail. Those are good videos. Those will always be good. Those will never be disappointing. Oh, come on. Don't fucking unfocus. Come on, you piece of shit camera. There we go. All right. Those are good videos. We'll leave those can stay. Those don't have to get on the trains. Work will not set them free because I won't be taking the prisoner. But the rest of these YouTube star clickbait thumbnail fucks, they're cattle. All right, and they will be treated as such. Title. So you got that first word, right? Not necessarily upper. You don't want it to stick out for being lowercase, and it's not that you don't want the whole thing to stick out. If you're going to go lowercase, the whole title is going to be lowercase. But seeing as how you want the contrast to come with the capital letters, you want a contrast from a normal sentence. My cousin, so you do capital M, then you do, Y space cousin spelled normally, all caps. You want that word to fit into the top line. You don't want it going ... and you also don't want it second line. That first word, you want all caps. My cousin hates Ted Cruz slams. Right? You want to go for those sort of those retard magnets, right? Shocks, epic, trouble, shoot, dead, hate, surprise, and then it depends. You're going for real low hanging fruit. Yeah, you'd say shocks, sex. It's all right. My cousin hates when my cousin capital hates whenever my capital dad says that she should ... You maybe want to go parentheses. If you're going to go parentheses, you have to go double parentheses, and not in that sort of dog whistling kind of talking about Jew, them, triple parentheses. No, what I mean is you would say maybe parentheses, all caps, not a prank, close parentheses, open parentheses, hidden camera, close parentheses, right? So if you're going to do parentheses, you're going to do doubles, a double set. You don't go all caps. You can really put them all together. And, part of me, maybe if I talk to these people, they'd be looking at me going, yeah, no, isn't it fucking just absolutely obnoxious? And I'd be going, oh. It's why when people are, Donald Trump's stupid, or, you see it right now with the right? You see, dumb Biden needs a diaper and dementia. Again, idiocracy. So these people aren't stupid. I don't think Biden has dementia, and I don't think Trump's stupid. I think they're very fucking good at acting because they're in the Oval Office with the nuclear codes and the control over the world, allegedly. I think they know what they're doing. But no, what was I getting at? You really want yeah. So whereas people kind of take it hook, lines, Donald Trump misspelled United States in his legal statement. If you went and talked to him, he'd probably be like, yeah, I put a typo in, so all these retards would grab it. Part of me thinks if I went and talked to like a PewDiePie or a Mr. Beast, they'd be like, yeah, I have a whole team that does these thumbnails. Yeah, no, Tommy, you're right. There's actually, we just have it's all automated now. It just creates the colors in the background and I'm just like, oh. But I'm like, it's so obnoxious. And they're like 30 million views within a week. Look at that revenue. And I'm going, oh, maybe I'm the retard. Maybe I'm the real retard here. Excuse me. I was promised a snowstorm, and I haven't seen any snow yet. I'm always afraid when I get like pains in my side that it's a heart attack, and that's it. I'm 30 and I'm done. What else do we see in the thumbnails? Really, I mean, you can get worse and worse and worse. But the thing is you don't want to go too thumbnail, right? You don't want to go too clickbait, because even the retards can notice, right? Even the dumbest animal will realize that, you know, there's a piece of bait, but it's on it's not even like kind of under some leaves or something, when it's just sitting on top of a shiny metal bear trap in a parking lot. Like, even the dumbest animals are like, yo, right? I mean, as cringy and boomery as it is, man, that the mouse goes for the cheese because it thinks it's free and it doesn't see the mousetrap. God damn, if that isn't what socialism is. It's free. They're giving you, the government's not a fucking corporation. They're giving you your money. But I'm not going to do that right now. Federal Reserve's about as federal as FedEx. I'm not going to be that guy right now. Will be. You don't want to go too clickbait. Too clickbait is well, this is more, if you don't play video games, you won't know more. But let's just say, for those of you that play Grand Theft Auto, too clickbait would be like a super high ramp, and it'll be so far up that it's looking down at clouds, which you can do in creator mode or director mode. But it'll be like, I mean, you'll see the whole Earth. Like, there is no Earth in Grand Theft Auto. Like, you can't see the whole planet, right? Or it'd be like a Batmobile, right? And it will be kind of have that warp drive aesthetic, where it's like the stars are merging into lines, and it'll be like, I want the fastest ever in Grand Theft Auto, right? And you'll have the guy with his controller. You don't want to go too thumbnail or too clickbait. You don't want all caps. You don't want the thumbnail to just be like a close-up of like two tits and a gun. You don't want that. You want to have a little subtlety. You can't just put the piece of steak on a shiny metal bear trap in the middle of a parking lot under flood lamps. Even the bear is going to be like, You can't do that. It can't be too much. It has to be. You have to go to the edge. You have to go to the brink of retard, and then you have to take a couple hops back, right? That's what you have to do, right? If you're really good, I don't know. But then, I mean, it begs the question, like, is that not the way to go? Yeah, I mean, is it a pride thing? Am I not? I mean, I do graphic design. I could do a thumbnail for any one of my videos within under 5 minutes. Hands down, I could do it while not paying attention. Am I too cool for it? Is that what it is? Am I? You know what we'll do? We'll do that thumbnail for this video. That's what it will be. That's what it will fucking be. I'll make the most clickbaity thumbnail, the most clickbait title. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And if this video gets more views than every other video, well then fucking A, that's what we're doing. We're going to be doing Mr. Beast video. No more interviewing authors who spent time in embassies and Qatar. No, it's going to be me with a bright red race car, Pamela Anderson, a shotgun, some cops behind me that look like they came from a fucking Halloween store, and everyone's going, like, that's what it's going to be. No more History Channel documentaries of D-Day and the build up to it, and the disinformation and the false trails and the subterfuge. No, it's going to be Eisenhower and Hitler, like epic rap battles, looking at each other like, argh. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to fucking be. It's going to be, if that's what the people want, if the people want idiocracy. I don't think I can, though. I think I'd fucking kill myself. That's the thing, is I really don't think I can. I think that's the true beauty of having an angel investor. I think that's the correct term. I don't want to keep using that if it's incorrect. So I've used it several times. Actually, that's the second time. I think I'll be continuing to use it in this episode. If that's the case, then I didn't mean it. if it, for whatever reason, if it's like a derogatory term, but I think it means someone that's like a guardian angel. They come down and they make your like dream come true, right? Maybe that's the true blessing of having this guardian angel investor, is I don't have to whore myself out. That's what it is. Is there a good man with a strong home, and they have taken me in from the streets, and I no longer have to walk up and down fucking, you know, MLK Jr. Boulevard in my, man, hookers are kind of like clickbait thumbnails. Purple fucking, like, you know, purple fucking thongs, high cut, you know, a sequency kind of mini skirt, tube top, glittery, a little metallic, reflecting, a lot of plastic, high purse. That, I mean, that purse isn't practical. Like, you can't put a phone or a battery pack in there. Like, come on now. Right? Super high heels, glittery, fingernails and toenails, just bright highlighter colors. Right? Not anything that looks even remotely good, even for a hooker. Earrings, big, a lot of clinky, a lot of right? The guys that are getting serviced by them, they want to hear that. At least I would imagine. I've never acquiesced a hooker. I'm not above it. I don't think I will. If that's how you got to make your money, that's how you got to make your money. I'm not going to fucking judge you. I respect you. All right? If you got to do whatever it takes and you're working harder, not smarter, literally, you're working hard. Wink, wink, wink. Boobs. Oh my God. My dad will never believe what he did when he saw the gun. Hookers are a lot like YouTube thumbnails. Right? And what's behind them? What's fucking behind them? It's the neon lights, right? It's the seedy red light district section. It's the bars. It's the fucking casinos. The flashing light bulbs. The fountains. Oh my God, the fountains, right? You know, you have that water jet, and then the darkness of the night behind it, water jet, and they all have lights. What is that? That's the thumbnail. That's the pie chart of the fucking, and the bright lights behind it. Way off in the background is the skyscraper. Big, right? Big, you know, a bunch of girls in matching uniforms, big tits, feathers on their head, and they have platters of whatever, and it looks too good to be true. It's the best sub you've ever seen, and it's on a chrome platter. There's a Ferrari with a guy standing next to it with 12 abs, and it doesn't even look good, and when you realize that it's actually photoshopped because his right hand and his left hand are the exact same, but it doesn't matter, just fucking click it. That's what it is, right? Jesus Christ. And what are their names? Their names aren't Catherine and Megan. It's Candy. It's Diamond. It's Slut Nugget. I don't think that's any of their names, right? It's Sparkle. It's fucking whatever. Jesus, yeah. Prostitutes are YouTube thumbnails. And what do? They drive more traffic, literal traffic. Like cars, automobiles slowed down because of each other's presence and lack or unsynchronized movements. Quite literal traffic. And they get eyeballs. You only got a couple seconds, gotta look. And now am I just going into advertising? No, I think that they're YouTube thumbnails. I'm gonna keep running with it because it seems like it's a good idea. Let me have this. Fuck off. That's what it is. Jesus. The colors, the background, I mean, that is the hazy background, right? Because the eye naturally focuses. That's why portrait mode is more attractive, right? Even video games, I'd say probably starting 3-4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, you started to be able to turn on like distance rendering. And I don't mean like, no, rendering is that's not the correct word, but like Grand Theft Auto 5 for Xbox One remastered, where there's the first person, right? You pull up the gun now, you kind of get hazy everything else, and if you're looking at something far away, close up is hazy, a little more realistic. Maybe that's what it is because that's where the eye naturally goes. What is it? Cleavage, ass, pimps with guns. They kind of talk in capital letters. And my God, not the whole face. Your window is your thumbnail. And when they come up and talk to you, part of their head is outside of the thumbnail. Jesus Christ in heaven. You can see the brights of their eyes. They have shiny lipstick on. Holy shit. and then you click it, and it was never as great as the thumbnail. And you're like, why did I fall for it again? Because the real good videos, they don't have special. They're a girl that's not flaunting it. You meet her and you realize, you're like, oh, this is the diamond. She's not flaunting it because she knows she has it. It's not, click here, my dad fucked my hamster and then the cops took my gun and I cummed on them. Sponsored by World of Tanks. Jesus Christ. How long until that's just what the news is? CNN articles. Where it's just like, how long until that's political theater? Like, we already know that these rich billionaire, technocratic, global elite, transhumanist motherfuckers are all, we already know it's all theater. Frank Zappa, politics is the entertainment division of the military-industrial complex. To me, that is one of the most chilling quotes. I mean, it's part of it's r/I'm 14 and this is deep. But I think the word division is what got me, because otherwise it seemed, it's like, oh yeah, politics is theater. It's just like, what's the, WWF wrestling, they fight out inside the ring, but behind the stage they're all friends and they're shaking hands, but everyone outside thinks it's real. Everyone's heard that fucking analogy 1,000 times. I get it. It's not unique anymore. There's also this moving window, this almost Overton window of coolness when it comes to conspiracies. It used to be heavy and edgy to talk about JFK, right? Go back to Bill Hicks, who's immortal. But I mean, you listen to a lot of his stuff now, and it's a little cringy. Don't come after me for that. I adore Bill Hicks. I adore William Hicks. His death letter is one of the best ever. I'm Melvin Hicks. Why am I dying now after all this success? But don't worry, when I am gone, I will be wherever there's laughter and truth. Shout out Bill Hicks. 33. Born in Valdosta, Georgia. And I discovered him when living in Valdosta, Georgia. Yeah. His birth date is the first, not actual date, but the anniversary is the first day I ever took psychedelics. Right? I think it was December 16th, 2013. But some of the stuff is a little cringy. And it's like when you see like the cinema double take. It's like you almost can't stand it now. But there was a time when like that hadn't been done before. Right? Like the first like George Bush impressions or the first like Trump impressions. Like they get old quick. And when you look at them now, they're not original. But there was a time when it was the first time that was being done. Right? Like a Dane Cook. Like him or, it's like what Ron White said, love him or hate him. I'm not going to say anything about him because I think enough's been said, right? That's Ron White. But he goes, love him for hate him. He goes, take note, that guy knows how to go up and control a presence, a presence that controls the crowd, right? But it was, that shock factor is only there for so, like Grand Theft Auto is great, but it's not like it's not like you're in 7th grade and you're like, what the fuck? You're used to playing Mario Kart and Star Fox, and now you're watching your older brothers sit on top of a tower, shoot hookers' heads off. No. Pay the hooker, fuck the hooker, kill the hooker, take her money, take a katana, go chop off someone's head, go hide behind, or go up into a tower, shoot someone to where their head blows off, wait until the EMTs come, and then shoot a rocket launcher. Like, that was true insanity. When you're like 12, you're like, what the fuck is this? Right? The first time I was ever allowed to watch a Simpsons episode was September 11th, 2001. Normally my parents or my mom wouldn't let us. And which my dad was working. Shout out Dad, love you. Shout out Mom, love you. But I remember it was because she was talking to, we had to say nighttime prayers. And I remember I think my mom was talking to my dad. And they were in the other room. And we were in an apartment at the time in Georgia. Because we had moved there in short notice. So we didn't move into our home yet. And I remember sitting in that apartment and my little brother and I thinking we were smart because we're like, as soon as they open up the airports tomorrow, there's just going to be another terrorist attack. Like, that's what's going to happen. That was, our combined age was less than the legal drinking age. But I remember watching a Simpsons. I couldn't watch South Park. Was like, I didn't even want to watch it. I was like, I'm not trying to, I start watching that, I'll be murdering people by Christmas. But I remember watching The Simpsons, and it was just an episode. It was, I think the Ivan Niaj joined the Navy. and he's having like a mirage dream about like hippies storming like an aircraft carrier, and he's like, shoot him, and he's like daydreaming, and like one of the like a lieutenant's next to him, he's like, sir, he's like, sorry, he's like, was it the hippie dream again? And he's like, yes. I think it was that episode, because I never really watched a whole lot of Simpsons even afterwards, but it wasn't that. Actually, that wasn't the one I remember on 9/11. What I remember on 9/11, it was just Homer in the backyard, and someone said something about Flanders, and he goes, he sucks, and it was something about Homer just saying he sucks. I thought was so fucking funny. Like it was bad, and I understood like that the World Trade Centers were still smoldering, but something about Homer Simpson saying he sucks, I just thought was so funny. But you get a tolerance to it. South Park's still great. I haven't watched it in several seasons. I wasn't a fan of the continuous episodes, the sort of seasons that all kind of had a central theme. Not a fan of those. Not that it matters. Those fucking brilliant billionaires. Right? What are we even talking about now? How did I get here? Who cares? Let's just roll with it. It's right. It loses its power. Yeah. The cinema double take. Right. It loses its power. It's not. Once you've seen it, it's no longer the best. Conspiracy. Oh, now we're working backwards. Conspiracies. It's like JFK, 9/11. Like, I mean, those are just accepted now, right? Iraq for money. You know, real. But even now, it's becoming a little more mainstream. It's been about a year. COVID being a bioweapon. I think the next big one will be 2020 election. Was it stolen? Who did it? Right. For the future record, I do think it was stolen, and I do think it will come out that that's the case, and I might be having someone on here to talk about that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I might not. Oh yeah, political theater. Frank Zappa. Was it George Zappa or Frank Zappa? Uncle Remus, have you seen us? I can't wait till I get home. If I can grow out my afro, leave my do-rag at home. Knock the little jockeys off of rich people's lawn, and before the sun comes up, we'll be gone. Uncle Remus, have you seen us? Shut up, Frank Zappa. Yeah. Political theater is the entertainment division of the military industrial. Yeah. So the idea of political theater isn't unique, right? Again, yeah, that moving window. Jesus, I'm fucking, my mind's going everywhere. That moving window of what is edgy versus what is kind of a normie. You talk about 9/11, Gulf of Tonkin, JFK. You talk about those, 2008, yeah, war in Iraq. Those are kind of normie now, right? The new fentanyl, right? That good. Actually, I wouldn't even say that. I would say that those are two planes in which you move. The temporal plane, where new conspiracies are what's hot, what's edgy. It shows that you're hip, right? It's like being a hipster. It's like moving from city to city, following the scene. I would say it's definitely temporal. It has to be new. Even COVID's getting a little old, so you got to go 2020 election. That's stolen, right? All that other stuff is just old now. It's not edgy, which then begs the question: were you ever actually interested in the conspiracy, or were you interested in having a viewpoint that others did not have, that you knew they would eventually adopt, and thus they look back at you and they go, "Oh, he knew." Just like I felt the need to say, for the record, I think the 2020 election was stolen. Is it an ego thing? Do you really like Supreme, or Gucci, or FUBU, or are you just wearing it? Right, and then that's the horizontal, that sort of temporal movement of conspiracies. But then you can go vertical, and it's where you move from temporal, but instead you move, right? It's like moving to newer and newer designer drugs. Oh, have you ever taken LSX7? Oh, this guy's still doing DMT. You haven't lived until you've done Q raised to the 7th power 81X dash dash at sign. Like, that's fucking, Bob did it, and his face exploded after he raped his sister to death. And it's just like, Jesus, dude, that's so fucking tight. Yeah. So that's like that's the horizontal movement of more and more, right now, right Q, right, that you're pushing the edge. Right now, Biden's not really president. It's all taking place in a movie theater. That's like the new. But then there's also that vertical movement, right, to where it's not the new drug, but more powerful drug, right? It's a different movement. It's movement, but it's on a different plane. And so it's it's not a new drug, but I'm going from Vicodin to Oxycontin to heroin to fentanyl to carfentanil to isocarfentanil, right? And that's where you get your Alex Jones, your interdimensional demons, your holographic pedophile vampire goblins, like all that shit. I really gotta pee. I'll be right back. Maybe what I need to start doing is just stop taking bathroom breaks. Just stand up and just piss all over the camera. That's how I'll get views. But maybe that's what political politics is, just the entertainment division. Yeah, so that one always sat with me, despite kind of being a normie, cliche, edgy, angsty statement, which I'm sure at the time he said it was like cutting edge. It was like the equivalent of interdimensional demons. This microphone's probably going to start smelling eventually, right? I'm probably spitting on it. Yeah, but the idea, division of the military-industrial complex, it was like, oh, this isn't even like a loose idea. It's like, this is an actual, like, oh, this is our retail division where we sell chicken breasts, and this is our commercial division where we sell it to Chick-fil-A. It's like, oh, this is actually all streamlined. It's one entity. Like, oh, fuck. Right? Which is how the CCP is run. I mean, I don't like them, but I mean, let's just examine that just objectively. It's kind of crazy how it's run as like one big corporation. You have to have one member of the CCP, the actual communist, the Chinese Communist Party. You have to have at least one member of them in your board of directors for every corporation. I think you have to sign over like all. Actually, I'm going to butcher it. Read Stealth War by Brigadier General Robert Spalding, who was on this podcast, episode 161. He was a B-2 Spirit stealth bomber pilot. He was in Obama's National Security Council, and he works at the Hudson Institute, and he wrote the book Stealth War, The Rise of China and While the Elite Slept, or something. It's a very good book, but it's interesting how they act as almost one hyper mega corporation. But we'll do that for another episode. We have talked about China before. It'd be like, you know what it was? I remember where I really felt like we were in an idiocracy. I'm going to go get a haircut today. I'm getting that monk hair where it sticks out on the sides. It was a Trump ad. It was a political ad on YouTube. And I remember texting it to my buddy Warren. Warren's been on this podcast several times. He does meme set. He came on the most recent episode with Charlie Duke, the 10th man to walk on the moon. 70 views. Joe Rogan hasn't had on someone that's walking on the moon. I've had him on twice. Go fuck you, YouTube. That's an interview with a goddamn American hero, one of 4 men alive who's walked on another celestial body, and he's going into how he decided to do that, how to follow your dreams, how to find faith if that's what powers you. It's a great episode. It's got 70 views in a week. Fuck you, YouTube. It is a good. You know what? Fuck. But I sent it to Warren, and I was like, I was like, Warren, look at this. And he said something along the lines of like, we're in end times. And it was because it was a Trump ad. It was Biden, close up of Biden's face, part of it cropped out, eyes open, mouth open, white outline, that obnoxious color, pie chart, emanation, degradation, light, border, big bubble letters, emoji, cat, and the title was, how do you say the name of that song? Despacito, and then in parentheses it says "gone wrong." And I was like, oh, we're in the end times. That's Jesus. Like that was a political ad. Like that was a political ad. The same office that like Truman campaigned from the back of a moving train across the nation. Ugh. Fuck. It's the end. Enjoy it. Ride this bitch out. A plane that's run out of fuel and is gliding to its eventual termination, if you're in a first class seat, it's still a first class seat whether or not there's fuel. Now, if it's nosediving and there's no gravity and you're flying around, that might not be fun. But hey, actually, not even let's say no fuel. Let's say autopilot. Let's say the pilots are dead on autopilot as you aimed at a granite face in the Rockies. But you don't know that. I mean, someone looking at the computer might understand, oh, we're done. But we're still have a couple hours before we're done. There's no escaping. A first class seat's still a first class seat. Drinks, nice little dinner, maybe some fettuccine Alfredo, put your feet up. Extra big chair, leather chair, right? You get your own lighting. First class seat, so leather seat's a leather seat. Whether or not you're aimed to land in Los Angeles in 3 hours or whether you're aimed to hit the side of a mountain. And that's kind of how I feel. Whether or not the world ascends into a higher dimension and we declassify technology, Ben Rich, we have the power to take ET home. We have magnificent technologies, but they're so locked up in black budgets and black projects. It would take an act of God for them to be released and benefit humanity. Maybe we declassify all that. I would like to think we will. Like, in all seriousness, I would like to think we will. That we can have utopia here. And not in some idyllic sense. That we can have fusion reactors. We can have zero-point energy. We can have desalinated water. We can have genetically modified crops, feed every man, woman, and child. Bill Hicks is, despite being really dark and negative, in his words, wear all black, scream at people, and pull the veil back from their pathetic eyes. Despite his whole act, he would always finish with, "There's nothing but love. You must be in love with each other. There is no such thing as hell. There is only separation from God. And eventually you, a perfect creation of the Creator, will go back home into unending love and light." Like, for all of his like dark black comedy, for all of his black pills, at the very end he would hand out like the chrome pill of pure white light. His great quote: "Take the money from all the defense industries and use it to feed every man, woman, feed, educate, and shelter every man, woman, and child on the earth, one person excluded. And then we can explore space, both inner and outer, together, forever, in peace." It's just that is the thesis of what I think we should be doing. But whether we're going to that or whether we're going to some hellscape, right now, my leather chair is my leather chair. Jerking off is fun. A turkey burger tastes great with a little bit of hot sauce. But let's say we do keep going down this road into dystopia. I think the news will only start being like, that's how we'll learn about it too. I mean, until they just cut off history entirely, you're not allowed to learn about the past. That's going to be the next thing coming. Heard it here first. Right? We're taking down statues. We're already rewriting history. They're using CGI to replace Trump from Home Alone. Right? What it's going to be is soon it's not enough that it's edited. You won't be allowed to read the history. That's what it will be. And then they'll slowly start changing aspects of it and facets of it piece by piece, just like how do you replace the Golden Gate Bridge. It's like one piece at a time, which has been done, I believe, twice since its creation. That's how they'll do it, is they'll replace piece by piece, date by date, person, place, and thing by person, place, and thing. And then eventually you won't have to ban it, because anyone that does remember the original story will just be as outlandish as a conspiracy theorist, which begs the question, man, is that where we are now? Is the history of the pyramids and us coming out of the jungle and whatever, moving from continent to continent across the Bering Strait, the Alaskan land bridge, is that a story that's been given to us, and the real history is something absurd, you know, some Anunnaki shit? Who knows? But eventually you're going to have, right, because all textbooks are going to go digital, a lot easier to edit, right? 1984 had it wrong. You don't need to get every newspaper and clip everything out. You just got to change the fucking base code. So if that's the case, what eventually we're going to have when learning about history before it's completely edited is it's going to be like, but I guess, I don't know, there's that, is that YouTube channel, I think, Simple History? They do kind of squeaky. Sounds like a fart. You ever know when you make a noise that sounds like a fart but you didn't actually fart? You're very quick to be like, that's my jacket on the leather. And then when you do fart, you just don't make a noise. It's like you just stare it dead in the eye and you're like, the thumbnails to digital textbooks will be, it'll be like that YouTube channel, Simple History or Oversimplified. It's a great channel. He uses little stick figures and shit, but he does teach history, and he teaches it. And so again, am I shitting on this thing that might actually be good, right? A good teacher is someone that can take something uninteresting. Didn't Einstein say, if you can't explain it simply, then you don't understand it well enough? So you could say the mark of an intelligent man or an intelligent professor or lecturer or whatever, or woman or whatever, fucking non-binary, gender fluid fox can, is their ability to break it down into simple steps. But I would take it one step further and say a truly legendary professor is someone, like, that's what you have to have. That's the baseline to be a good professor, is that you can explain it simply. But a truly legendary professor is someone that can take that simple thing and then make it interesting, right? I loved biology. I loved organic chemistry. I had a bad professor. He was terrible at teaching, and I taught myself. I had a good professor, Dr. Hubbard, summer 2012 at UGA, OChem 2. He was a very good professor. He could take these very difficult things and explain it simply. But I was already interested in organic chemistry. I hated math. I despised it. I failed pre-calculus 3 times and had to take a WF, a withdraw failure. But Dr. Roy Seegers at the University of Georgia, who worked for DuPont Chemical, the last time I spoke to him was, I think, 2014. I remember his wife was sick. I hope she's okay. I love you, Dr. Seegers. You're one of my favorite professors of all time. I got the highest grade in my class. Granted, it was like 15 kids, and most of them were retarded. But I got the highest grade in my class. And it's because he was able to explain it so well, but he also made it interesting. Even if it was just a sense of humor, even if it was just sort of a way he carried himself. Like, it was still derivatives and shit, but it was just, he had this long ponytail. I think he was rich as fuck, and he just decided to be a teacher. Just, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And I remember he was a boss. There was a guy from the football team in there who kind of had an attitude, and Roy wouldn't take it. Roy would stare into that guy. This guy was like 6'4", 300 pounds. I think he was like redshirting for UGA. Roy would stare into that man's soul. Wouldn't raise his voice, wouldn't get red, but he would not ask. He would say things. And you had to listen closely, but you could hear the clanging of Roy's tungsten balls bouncing against each other. But Roy was a fantastic professor because he would just make you interested. Some days he would come in just acting like he was smoking weed. And I mean, literally, he would just come in some days just going, kind of a lot like Kyle Mooney, right? He's on SNL now. Oh yeah, dude, pass that. It's cherry, dude. The skunk, dude. Bubba skunk, dude. But he would do that and you just kind of look around, and he would do it for like 5-10 minutes, which doesn't sound that long, but it's a 50-minute class 3 times a week. I mean, that was I mean, what, that was like 3% of your total class time, which again doesn't sound like a lot, but when you realize it's a grown man in his 70s with a ponytail down to his ass who is an executive at DuPont Chemical, and he's acting like he's smoking weed, and he's just looking at you kind of bobbing and weaving back and forth like he's getting ready for a Mike Tyson fight. That was kind of odd, but he was a cool guy. So maybe that's what Simple History is doing, is maybe I'm shitting on it. Maybe that might be exactly what it is. I'm looking at it like, no, you should be learning from a textbook. It should be boring and you should hate it. And it should be in a hot, stuffy classroom, and you should be looking at the clock waiting for the class to end. And that is how you will learn about the Third French or the French Revolution and the Third Estate, whatever. But maybe it's not that, right? There's some comedian, I forget who it is, but he had a great quote, and it was like, some people, like, I've heard like dads say at my, kind of or I've had fans tell me, this is what my dad said about you. They're like, that guy doesn't do real work. He gets up on a stage a couple nights a week wearing whatever he wants, swearing and yelling at people, and then he goes home. And the comedian, I want to say it's Stanhope, but I don't recognize any of his work. I just recognize the name from Rogan. He was like, yes, take note. Like, if you're making money, not going to a 9-to-5, saying whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want, to whoever you want, about whatever you want, take note, right? It's like the story of like people describing how they turned from like conservatives to hippies in the 60s. They'd be like, look at, we're in here, wearing suits and ties discussing financial policy. Look at those hippies out there sitting by a river, fucking with long hair in the sun, drinking lemonade, smoking. That looks really fun. Like, right? Maybe I'm being a boomer of sorts. History should be learned with real black and white gritty images. Why not turn it into a thumbnail with a fucking stick figure and a clickbait thing? If you're still teaching the battles, and if you're still teaching in a way that people remember it, not only that they're able to, one, understand, and two, be interested in, maybe these people are just like next level professors. And using technology as your platform, you don't have to have a great professor that goes and does a stint at a college and then you need, the biggest atrium you have so you can have 500 students there. You just have one guy putting out YouTube videos and millions can watch. Maybe there's nothing at all wrong with that. Guess I really need to eat my fucking words. The people that do those clickbait thumbnails do make millions of dollars. And how do I not know that they're funding schools somewhere, doing something actually good, whereas I'm just yelling like a fucking disgruntled asshole? Which most of it is not even true. I'm a very happy person. Depressed and anxious all the time, but like very grateful for my existence. Now is my own ego going to not let me have that realization, or am I going to have that realization internally and then vocalize it like I am at this moment, and then still double back and try to pull off that whole Tim Dillon-esque fuck it, I'm going to be funny anyway? Who knows? Did I just butcher it with that explanation of what I'm viewing in my head in real time, the alternative paths to take as each second unfolds? Which timeline am I going to step onto? Odd oddities. Yeah, I guess that is food for thought. Yeah, I don't really want to make a thumbnail. I said I was going to. I don't think I'm gonna, because I just don't give a fuck. I don't care enough. Goals. Let's do some goals. Today is February 11th, 1:52 p.m. Eastern time. Is today Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday, February 11th, 2021. 1:52 p.m. Eastern time, 2021. Right now I have 1,841 subscribers. I think I have 182,000 total views. I would like to look back at this. around July. I would like to have broken 2,000 subscribers. God, please let this fucking plateau shit end. If anyone's watching this, please subscribe. Please be obnoxious and get your friends to subscribe. I have not gotten a new subscriber in 2021 and it's driving me insane. Please, if you know it, just make an alternative account. I don't give a shit. If you like this podcast and you comment regularly, please just make an alternative account and subscribe. I don't care. It's driving me crazy. Or maybe you like that, so don't. I don't fucking know. This summer, I would like to have broken the 2,000 subscriber mark. I think that would be dope. Would like to break 200,000 views. Yeah. I think 2,000 subscribers and 200,000 views. By the end of the year, I would like to hit 4,000 subscribers. And I would like to average 1,000 views per video, like within a week of them going up. I think that would be very, very cool. I think 100 Spotify plays a day could be very cool. So by July, I'd like to be at 2,000 subscribers. I'm not even worried about 200,000 views. That'll all come with it. Because I can do averages right now. I think my average views per video is like 527, and that's if you take the total views and divide it by the number of episodes. But I don't want that. I mean, I just want to be able to like look back at the last, like, because in December it was dope. I was breaking 100 views per video and for like 30 days, and I felt like I was finally rolling. And now it's back down to like 30. Yeah, by July I'd like to get to 2,000 subscribers. Maybe every video break like 250 views. By December I would like to be at 4,000 subscribers. I would really like for every video to break 1,000. And again, not just average, because I'll probably get to an average of 1,000 views much quicker, but that's not what I want. I like the idea of like 1,000 within a week. It just seems cool. Yeah, 4,000 subscribers by December with 1,000 views per video. That would just be badass. 100 plays a day on Spotify. I don't care where they come from or what videos they're on. That could be very, very cool. I think I'm 208 pounds right now. I'd really like to get down to 190 by New Year's. I think it can be done. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. You have a good one. God bless. Enjoy the podcast. And please, obnoxiously just spam this to your friends and tell them to subscribe. Take their phone and subscribe. Make a duplicate account and subscribe. I don't give a shit. I do not give a shit. Just do it. Thanks. Peace.